Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amardeep Mishra and in today's video we are going to talk about the remainders, right? So first of all, let's understand the basics of remainder. What do we understand by remainder? So suppose we have a number. I'm starting with a very basic example. Suppose we have a number 37, right? And if I am dividing this number by 5, correct? And it will go 7 times. I will get 35 and the remainder will be 2, right? So the most basic thing which all of us are aware of is this number which is dividing. This is known as divisor, correct? This is known as quotient. And this number which is getting divided, the main number, this is known as dividend. Dividend, sorry. Yeah. And this number, this is known as remainder. Okay. So there is a relationship between among these four quantities. If I represent this dividend as capital D and this divisor as a small d and quotient as a small q and remainder as a small r, then we can write as capital D equals to small d into q plus r. Means dividend, capital D dividend equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Right? We can verify this equation also. We can put here at the place of capital D, we can put 37. That will be equals to divisor is 5 into q, quotient is 7 plus remainder is 2. So this comes out to be 5 7 are 35 and 35 plus 2, that is 37. Now this equation is very important. You have to keep this in mind throughout as long as you are solving the questions of remainder. Okay. Now next thing, a remainder could be positive as well as negative, right? Remainder could be positive as well as negative. How? Let's see. Suppose if I'm writing 24 and I'm dividing this by 7, right? I can write here 7 3s are 21 and remainder is what? 3. How are we getting this remainder? By subtracting this value, this 21 from 24, right? So minus 24 minus 21, that is 3. This is the remainder. This is a positive value of remainder, correct? For the same dividend and divisor pair, if we want to get the negative value of remainder, we can write 24, 7. And if I take 7 fours are, that will be 28. Now, if you subtract this 28 from 24, from the smaller value, if you subtract this higher value, you will get minus 4. So minus 4 is the negative value of remainder. Okay. For the same divisor and dividend pair, you got two remainders, plus 3 and minus 4. But you have to keep in mind, while solving the questions based on remainders, you have to put the answer as positive value of remainder. You can never take your final answer as negative remainder, right? While solving the questions, we can use negative value of remainder in between. But towards the end, you have to use the positive value of remainder as your answer. Now, this is a very important point that you have to keep in mind. All right. I hope this point is clear. Okay. Now, how can I write, how can I summarize this point in a line? I can say here, for example, for 24 and 7, where 24 is the capital D, means dividend, and 7 is the divisor, the positive value of remainder is what? Positive value of remainder is 3. We have seen this. Now, if you want to get the negative remainder, so negative remainder will be equals to, that will be divisor minus this positive remainder. Okay. This positive value of remainder, you have to subtract from divisor, means, sorry. I mean, you can put a negative sign here, or you can write directly. Instead of writing like this, you can write that negative remainder equals to this positive remainder minus divisor. That is a better equation. Minus divisor means what was the positive value of remainder? That is 3. And what is divisor? 3 minus 7, you will be getting minus 4. Okay. So that is how we can get a negative remainder from the positive value of remainder. Right. Now, let's look at the question. Which type of questions we can get to see? Suppose in the question, you get a question like this. Let's say I have 13 into 14 into 15 into 16. Okay. And you are dividing it by 11. Now, one, you have to find out the remainder. What will be the remainder if you solve this? Okay. Now, the point here is one way of solving this question is you can multiply all these values, right? You can multiply this 13, 14, 15, and 16, and then you get one single dividend, and then you divide that value by 11. That is one way of solving. But instead of going that way, what we can do here is we can write it like this. I'm writing this step just for your understanding. In your exam, you don't have to write down all these steps. You can directly solve the question. Okay. Now see, uh, you can write 13 as 11 into 1 plus 2 because 11 is the divisor. So I'm writing all these numbers in the form of 11. 11 into 1 plus 2. Now, why this is 11 into 1 plus 2? This is divisor into quotient plus remainder like this. Similarly, 14 can be written as 11 into 1 plus 3. 15 can be written as 11 into 1 plus 4. And 16 can be written as 11 into 1 plus 5. Correct? Okay. Now, if you see in all these expressions, in 11 into 1 plus 2, 11 into 1 plus 3, in all these expressions, if you notice one thing, the first part, this 11 into 1, 11 into 1, 11 into 1, this is divisible by 11 already, right? So this question can be directly changed like this. Please focus here very carefully. At the place of 13, I can directly write down this remainder 2. Okay. At the place of 14, I can directly write down this remainder, which is 3. At the place of 15, I can put this remainder 4. And at the place of 16, I can put this remainder directly, which is 5. Okay. So now the question, which was looking a bit typical, I mean, calculation wise, now it has turned out to be very easy. Why? Because you have put the individual remainders. Okay. So again, I'm repeating what you have to do is you have to put the individual remainders when you divide these numbers individually by this divisor by 11. Okay. Now 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 now upon 11. Now you can multiply this 2 into 3 is 6. 6 into 4 is how much? 24. Now 24 into 5. Now again, focus here carefully. This 24, this is a value which is larger than 11. So I can divide this 24 by 11 and I can put the remainder only. So 24 by 11, how much it will go? 11 twos are 22 and remainder will be 2. Right? You see, 11 twos are 22, remainder is 2. So this remainder you have to put here. So in the next step, you can put the remainder 2 into 5 upon 11. Now this 2 into 5, how much? You will be getting 10. 10 upon 11. Now see, 10 is a value which is smaller than 11. 10 is a value which is smaller than 11. Correct? So I can take that as my answer. Right? If in the numerator you get a value smaller than divisor, then that becomes your remainder itself. Okay? Because see, if you divide this 10 upon 10 by 11, you cannot take 11 ones are 11, right? You have to take 11 zeros are 0 and 10 minus 0, you will get 10 only as your remainder. So 10 by 11 means your remainder is equals to 10. Okay. I hope this is clear. This question is clear. If this is clear, then I will give you one more question to solve. Okay. Suppose you have a question like this. 1, 3, 4. 5 into 1, 3, 4, 6 into 1, 3, 4, 7 and dividing it by, you can say dividing it by 12. Okay, you can divide this by 12 and think about the answer. Right, we'll discuss about this question in the next session. Okay. We'll discuss about this question in the next session. Now, next very important point, which you should not miss, never ever. When solving the question of remainder, suppose if they are giving you divisor as 15, okay, and the dividend is capital D, any number, and they are asking you the value of remainder. So please keep in mind that if the divisor is 15, so remainder can be in between from 0 to 14. It can be any value from 0 to 14, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 14. Okay, when you're dividing any number by 15, the divisor cannot be 15 itself. It is not possible. Okay, either it can be 0 or the maximum value of remainder can be 14. Similarly, suppose if I am taking this a number capital D upon 450. Now think about the maximum value of remainder which is possible. So the maximum value of remainder which is possible, that can be how much? That can be 449. And the minimum value of remainder, that is 0 when this D is totally divisible by 450. Okay. I hope these basic things are clear to you. We will talk more about the remainder based questions. The when in the dividend you get to see the powers also. We will talk about those type of questions in the next video. Right. Thank you so much for watching this, and we will meet in the next video.